Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and welcome to another live stream. Always takes me about 10 seconds to make sure everything's working correctly. Make sure you don't have an echo.
A minute.
Oh, see? An ad pops up. It always happens to me. There's an ad that pops up. It's just kind of funny how this works. Jill is joining me again from Chicago. And Jill, it's the last live stream of the year. The last one.
It is.
It is incredible. I don't know what to do anymore. Let's see. I got to delete. I got this technology stuff, man. I had an hour and a half interview with a EV guy too, and tell me the technology there is just phenomenal as well. All right, so I got Jill on the screen. I got me on the screen. I got a confused message from Brian Finn. Knock it off, Brian. I did not hit the wrong key. Audio guys, audio check. Anything good? Are we good? Hello.
Yep. I'm on my headphones tonight, so hopefully there's no echo.
And take a moment here to admire. We have a new background for Jill. This is her third one. She's been on 3 or 4 live streams. Her third background.
You know, I got to keep it interesting. So today we're looking at my bookshelves.
Yeah, your husband must hate to move you and help you move. That's a lot of boxes to carry.
Oh, you think that my husband does any of that?
I do the same way. I'd be like, you bought them, you move them.
Oh, no, we hire people. Come on. I pack it all. But yeah, no, neither of us are moving any of this. And I think this alone, because we just moved in July, by the way. Uh-huh. So I think this alone was 20 boxes.
Well, I have to give you credit, though, because I saw your old place, and now I see your new place. Did you, just recreate the same bookshelf completely?
Yeah, so these are bookshelves from Ikea.
Ah, I see.
And I've got them strapped into the wall and everything. But yeah, no, they're the Billy bookshelves in case anybody out there is interested. But I love them. I've had them in multiple locations, and they fit pretty much everything I need them to fit, and they're easy to assemble. I assembled them myself. Again, I'm going to say that my husband did not help me, and I love my husband. He is not handy. But he will never watch this, so I can get away with saying that. Yeah, so I put this together myself, and I packed everything and reassembled and drilled it to the wall and all that good stuff. So
there you go. The guys want to know what are books. Somebody said analog reading devices. I'm agreeing with that.
Yes. Yes. And I think I have some dictionaries on here. There's Latin, Spanish, French. I don't know. I was a bit of a nerd.
Wow.
I'm still a nerd. Who am I kidding?
That's why she's
still
editor.
A nerd.
She's managing editor. That's her thing, not my thing. All right. Yeah. No, I don't need new bookshelves. I have my stuff behind me. Knock it off. We have to talk last live stream of the year, which frankly 2020 felt like it took 1,400 years. So I'm a little surprised by this. But I look back on the numbers, and before I get to the vehicles, I hate liking this. Well, what a year! What an absolute year! You guys crushed it. You guys did a great job. Jill's been crushing it since July, August, somewhere in that realm. I forget the exact date, but it's somewhere in that realm. And I mean, I won't speak to the numbers here on the live stream, but the website numbers by itself, they're so big improvement. It's actually kind of absurd. Right? The number is 3 digits, and you're like, what the hell was Tim doing last year, if nothing at all?
Oh, I know exactly what Tim was doing last year. I think that it begins with a G and ends with an off.
Well, I would love to be doing that right now. It is snowy and cold, and I've been trapped in the house, so I had an inadvertent thing happen last week. I was supposed to have the Defender last week, and so I was going to do a rural review of the Defender, and somebody smashed the Defender a little bit, so they sent it off to get fixed. Well, they left me with no press loan last week, so I didn't have a vehicle. And Swede right now, my 62, is a decoration in the yard, and I was too lazy to take off the lights. So I was home all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday. In my defense, I have nowhere to go. Everything's closed down. There's not much to do. I don't really want to go to places, lots of people, because COVID's pretty bad in the area. It makes no sense. So, yeah, it was kind of boring. Yeah, kind of boring. Anyways, that's enough about me. Let's see. The Defender didn't break down. Nobody actually sent me an accident. Any update in the F-150? No. I do have a plan to if I do travel to Michigan, I am going to stop and see Jill for a little bit. We will do, I don't know, lunch or something. I did hear today, and I'm waiting for confirmation, that there's a very interesting story in TFL that I have to get confirmation on, that the rear axle on the max towing configuration F-150 is different than the non-max towing. Basically, it's a 3/4 ton heavy-duty rear axle on the half-ton versus standard half-ton rear axle. And Ford said in that article, like kind of a quote, that they did not anticipate so many people ordering the max towing package, and so they ran out of axles. they ran out of axles. And so the supplier issue for the hybrid is not the hybrid itself. It's that they built so many of these max towing things, that packages, that they ran out of axles. How are you a truck company and you run out of axles? that's kind of my thing. Yeah. So yeah, Jill's like, what the hell? Yeah. So it's interesting.
Axles. Yeah.
Axles. I don't know. It was. I have another story coming because I have some other details, but it's pretty interesting. The floating axle. It's a floating axle. I got to figure this stuff out. Some of that stuff. I had a hour and a half interview with an EV expert today, and my mind's a little mush because some of that stuff is way over here. Okay. Yeah, it's a COVID-related supplier problem. But let's talk about the good and bad. I like to look back, and I think it'd be interesting because I made a bunch of scratch notes. Do you know something? I review a lot of vehicles a year. And do you know, I don't realize this until I go through the list. I was like, holy cow. And I don't know, some of these bleed into 2019 probably because of model year, but I thought 2020, let's stick with that. So, Jill, do you have ideas of what you want to talk about as far as vehicles? I kind of threw you on the spot here.
I definitely know what I didn't like. Those are the ones that stick out the most.
Okay.
And a couple of them are 2021 models, but
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely know what I didn't like, and if I really put my mind to it, I could tell you what I did like. So I have some thoughts.
Okay, I will go first, and then you can follow after, or you can give opinions on what I say, and then we can go back and forth.
Oh, I'll have opinions.
This is off the cuff stuff, guys. We really don't practice this, if you can't tell. Yeah. I will tell you the best truck I drove this year, and this is at the top of my list. The best truck, and really, I will say this, I don't really care for the truck. It's kind of bizarre. The truck is okay. It's just okay. But that 3-liter diesel that Chevy's come out with, the Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra and 1500, that is damn good. And I have another one in my driveway right now this week. They just dropped it off. And I literally went for another drive before doing this, and it reminded me how damn good that diesel is. I got fuel economy, I got towing power, I got off-the-line torque, even sounds pretty cool. I mean, it's lower emissions than diesels used to be, so that's cool too, environment. But that's a damn good powertrain. I don't like the interior at all. Remind me of that again.
Yeah, I was going to say my least favorite truck of this year is the Silverado.
Yeah,
and I've driven both the gasoline engine and the diesel, and I thought the powertrain was good. But I mean, I think you could buy a Ford Power Stroke and be infinitely happier with the Ford diesel because all around it's a better package in terms of comfort, ride, handling, visibility, adjustable pedals. I'm going to put that out there. But it's just all around just a better vehicle than anything that General Motors puts out. I had the Silverado twice, and they were both Trail Boss versions, but one had the diesel and one had the gasoline engine. And once I drove it to Wisconsin, so I spent like 3 hours one way because I was up in the hinterlands in Wisconsin, and then one way back, and I got out of that vehicle limping. I'm like, this is just the singularly most uncomfortable vehicle I've ever sat in my life. Like, I most uncomfortable vehicle. Sorry if there are any GM fans out there that I'm completely messing with, but I hate it, and I would never buy it, and I would never recommend it to anybody.
Okay, so Joe's got a few thoughts. I will tell you though, I learned, and maybe this is something else about this video, is what you learned this year. And I learned something really important with GM trucks is that it really makes a difference on what trim level you get. So the higher trim levels have much better seats. And that's my primary complaint is that the seats are terrible. So you had a Trail Boss, so you had the lower trim level, and those seats are rock hard. They're not comfortable, and it takes a while for them to get broken in. The High Country...
Yeah, I'm never going to break them in.
the
I weigh 95 pounds. That's not happening.
The High Country has much better seats, but I will say the interior stinks, and I do like the GMC front end better than like Chevy front end. The more I do it, the more I look at the front ends, the more I like GMC better. Okay, so yeah, I'll go again because you look like you're thinking. The most surprising truck, and I don't remember if I did this last year or this year, but it is listed as 2020 model. And something I learned was a good truck was a Ford F-150 with the XL STX package. This is a really bizarre one. I don't know if you know this one, but this one took me, the viewers actually pointed out to me, and the local Ford dealer. So I went to my local Ford dealer and I said, give me your best selling Ford truck. And he gives me this one. And I think it was like $45,000, somewhere in that range. It's the base level, but the STX has this appearance package, and it makes it look like it's a higher trim truck. And I drove that with a 2.7 in it, and it's quick, it's good fuel economy, and it was a lower price point, under 45 incentives. I think you probably get it down to 38, 39 right now. And it was such a good value and such a good truck, and I was really impressed with that. And it actually... And that's the thing I learned this year is buying a Ford truck sucks. Buying a new truck sucks. The packages are terrible. Trying to buy them are terrible. And I've gotten some good stuff, some crap on the comments on that. It's too damn confusing. But I have learned that you guys, you viewers, have figured this out. You have figured this out that you buy the XL STX. Dealers figured this out too. That's a sweet spot package. Journalists have no clue. I bet you if I took Jill and I took 9 of our other colleagues together and asked her about the XL STX package, no idea.
Okay, so because I live in Chicago, they usually give us one of two things. The High Country, highest trim, whatever, of any truck that you're going to get, or the base has manual transmission and roll-up windows. And we don't get much in the middle. And by the way, the only truck that had that when I got it was the Nissan Frontier. I think it was the 2019 Frontier. It had manual transmission, roll-up windows, and not power locks.
Manual
but
lock.
It seems like you don't get anywhere in the middle here. So we don't get a lot of the middle trim packages. We either get everything or nothing.
Yeah, I had to go to the dealer for this one, and I'm really glad I did. And I'm hoping maybe next year. Maybe next year that's on Jill's agenda. Maybe next year she can go to her dealer and get something middle grade and try it out. I don't know. It's interesting. Dealer, you don't want to drive them too much, but it is eye-opening to get in. I didn't realize that Ford is the only only truck maker I know, that offers both a column shifter and a console shifter. This is bizarre. So in the XLT, if you get just the base level XLT, 301A and 301-2A and the high whatever, as long as you don't get the sport package, you get an XLT with the column shifter. If you go sport package and XLT, you get console. You go Lariat and above, you get console. I never knew that.
I mean, I knew that the lower trims had the gear shift on the column.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that it had both.
Gear shift on the column, we call that column shifter, right?
Yeah. Well, I was like having a brain fart there, and so I was like, gear shift on the column there.
I love how she grabs it. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Nissan Titan that you were driving, and it had the baseball bat size shifter to it. Do you remember? You remember you brought that up in the? Was it a story you brought up, or a video you brought up, or something? You couldn't reach the HVAC or the controls or something.
Oh yeah. So, and I don't believe they fixed that for 2020. Basically, the shifter was as big as my head, and it was right in front of like the audio and the HVAC controls. And so anytime I wanted to like change the volume or the turn up the heat or something like that, I'd go bam right into the gear shifter, and I'd be like, okay. And granted, I know there's redundant controls on the steering wheel, but I'm still one of those people who's always reaching for the center stack. And so I literally, like, I think I had bruised knuckles. So somebody was wondering who I was in a fight with that week, because I literally, like, bam, into the shifter. And I'm like, does anybody else have a problem with this? Or is it just me? And I don't think it was just me.
Yeah, no, I remember that, and I remember the Facebook post or whatever it was, and boy, the controversy out of that. And we go to drive the Titan, people would talk about that. I mean, it was a whole thing. Yeah, no, Dave, the shifter is pretty big. I'm telling you, it changed my mind. It did. He says it does hide the defroster. It's a damn big shifter. And thank you. The screen name is thank you. Like, how awkward is that? I'm always like, does somebody say thank you? Like, is that how that works in the comments?
You.
Yeah, thank you. The XLT could be the best-selling trim for Ford. Like I said, I went to my local dealer and asked him what his best-selling truck was. So let me asterisk that thing. Yeah. So, yeah, it was, I don't know, it was kind of interesting. Let's see. Let's go with something bad. We did 3 good ones. Let's go with something bad. I know you owned one, Dave. I'm telling you. Look at that again. It's pretty impressive, how the size of it. The bad truck, and I get crap about this all the time, and you're wrong. The F-250, the 2020 Ford F-250, non-tremor package, rides like a brick on wheels, and people give me crap because my complaints were it's too tall and it rides like crap. And if you look at reviews on YouTube, and like Roman Micah had the same comment, he got out of the Ford F-250 and his back was killing him. And I drove around town on the same roads as everything else, and that thing hit hard. Now, I wish I would have thrown 1,000 pounds of payload in the back or something, because it would have dramatically changed that truck. But riding along empty, it was terrible. And in the comments when I first published that video, I got guys who said there's a Carlisle suspension system that they immediately add to that truck because it rides so bad. And so they buy it, they do that, or they do, I think Gene had a comment maybe there too, but they air down the tires. So people would buy this, immediately air down the tires, and they put this Carlisle suspension system on, which is what TFL did on their Super Duty 250. They put a new front end on it, shocking system. I think shocked and something else, but it changes the way that thing rides because it rides so bad. And I was shocked.
And I would disagree with you.
Yeah,
because I don't know that I had the 2020 model, but I did have one. I could have been the 2020 model. And so first off, adjustable pedals. I'm going to point that out again. It's on my brain today. But it does have adjustable pedals. It's one of the, I think, 5 trucks that have adjustable pedals. So I got really good visibility out of that truck. And I think somebody pointed out if you had the King Ranch trim, you'd probably like it. And I feel like that was actually the trim that I had, again, up here or down here. And I really liked it. I didn't have a problem with it.
Really?
So I'm disagreeing with you again. And this is over Chicago potholes, by the way. And it did not fit in my garage. So I will say that. Did not fit in my garage. I had to park on the street for a week. And it stuck. And this was in my old place before I moved here. And so we had slatted spots. And it was funny because I'd park in the slatted spot and it would stick out about 2 feet over the slatted spot.
Yeah.
But that was also one of the trucks because there was a lot of construction. There was a lot of construction going on by where I was. So that was one of the trucks that I drove that the construction guys would come over and they'd be like,
"Oh yeah, I mean,
nice truck."
It's totally it's a great looking truck. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of it. Great looking truck. It just need to improve the ride quality. Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it, so I'm blaming you. It's all your fault. It's all your problem.
I'm gonna go with one more, and I'm gonna say the most disappointing truck. And again, this is gonna be a caveat. The most disappointing truck is I thought the Nissan Frontier, the 2020 Nissan Frontier. Yes, new powertrain. Yes, new transmission. It absolutely, definitely improves that truck. But come on, man. I mean,
it's 15 years old.
Yeah, it came out when the first Bush was in office.
It is now 15 years old. I think because I just did the Nissan Frontier reliability story.
Yeah.
I think it came out in 2005. Like, and so I like posted a picture from like 2014 and 2005, and then I was looking at 2020 photos, and I was like, they're exactly the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's 15 years old, and I think it comes out for a next gen vehicle 2021. Thank God.
Yeah.
But it is a tired vehicle.
It is, and I like the Frontier. I like how the price of it. I like the Pro 4X package. You get a lot of value out of that truck, but at this point, I can't even get on bandwagon. Like I've really got the bandwagon, so it's crazy. Oh hey, Tommy's here from TFL. What's going on, Tommy? Yeah. So you're following truck purchase. Yeah, I hope the F-150 works out too. I hope I'm on a. So the deal is we're not doing live stream next week. The week after, I hope I'm on a plane to Detroit. That's what I hope. If not, I'm going in town to my dealer and doing something. Let's talk about. Let's go back to the good stuff. I had a lot of fun in this, and again, it was a dealership thing, which I'm going to tell Jill. You got to go to dealership. You get some strange things here, but I went to dealership.
Our dealerships in Chicago are scary. I'm not doing it.
Well, there's suburban dealerships. Anyways, I went and got this Ford Transit T350. So it's a big, massive van, right? So
box.
Yeah, box van. Yeah, big box van. Yeah, you can stand up. Well, it'd be like a Jill and a half inside, right? So I mean, that's
yeah. I'm like, I could definitely stand up in it, and I think I have. I think there's pictures somewhere.
I think you could do like cartwheels in that, Jill. I don't think you have any problem at all. Yeah, the thing is that EcoBoost engine in it. I think it was 3.5 in that, if I recall correctly. It was quick. It was just fast, and it was stupid fast, and it was easy getting out of, which is always a big deal for me. Get my tummy around the door. That's a huge issue. And it was just awesome. And it was funny to me because I'd done the video on it, and I guess I did it maybe in the spring. And all of a sudden, like 6 months later, Ford's sending out Transit for people to review. I'm like, this is a huge category. I don't know why we don't review vans more often. You know, I don't know why we don't review vans more often. Vans are pretty damn cool. They really are. And yeah, I was pretty happy with it. I was like, you know, come on, that thing was pretty cool. Have you driven a van? Have you done a van?
I drove the Transit many moons ago when it first came out, and so we're talking like I think it was probably 2009, because I drove to Toledo in that truck, and that's like a 5-hour drive to Toledo and back. And it was not the most comfortable thing I've ever been in. For 5 hours, 10 hours. I literally went to Toledo for a weekend. My uncle was ill, and I was going to visit him. And no, not my favorite.
I mean, I could see that. I mean, it's the seats are pretty economical seats. I mean, you don't have much luxury there. But I've driven a few vans. I actually moved here from Nebraska with a Ram van. Was it Ram? I think it was Ram. And I tell you what, I had movers coming over, I'd hired movers to load stuff, heavy stuff, and they kept throwing stuff in the van. They're like, they got there like, we can't fit anything in here. They start throwing stuff in. They're like, we can fit some more stuff in here. And they got, wait a minute, let's put more stuff in there. It just kept absorbing the household. It was awesome.
Well, and I think so. Speaking of the Ram, and I'm completely blanking on the name right now, but their van, I believe I have video of Nick Kappa autocrossing that vehicle on the launch that they did for it. Yes. And it was so funny because he takes me through this course. It was just supposed to be an obstacle course so you could get a feel for the ride and handling. And he totally went whoosh. And he was driving. I was a passenger. And so I'm like trying, core strong, trying to get the video. And we come into the end and he drops the side mirror. He made everything perfect until the end. And he like looks at me and he was like, oops. But the point of that is that handled really well through an autocross, driving like a maniac.
Yeah, I believe it's a tradesman, right? Is that the? What do you guys think?
No, if I heard the name, like if somebody knew the name, I would know it.
ProMaster.
But ProMaster, yes, that's it.
So they have a ProMaster, the big one. Yeah. ProMaster City's the small one. I built a fire pit.
Yeah, and it was the ProMaster City.
Yeah, I built a fire pit with the ProMaster City. Yeah. That thing, like, to me, it's the new. Everybody's like, I didn't want mid-sized trucks that got too big and it got too expensive. Go buy a van. A mid-sized truck holds the same as a van, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Yeah, vans are.
Yeah, and I will say the ProMaster seemed more comfortable to me than the Transit.
Okay, yeah, and Chevy's got a van too. I'm like,
but again, I did not drive it to Toledo.
No Toledo for Joe. All right, I'm gonna go with one more diesel. I'm gonna go with the Ram EcoDiesel 1500, and the reason I like this so much was it's new and improved, and they've made hopefully some improvements to reliability. That Gen 2 wasn't so reliable. But I'm a big fan of the Ram interiors, big fan of the truck, right? And I think the EcoDiesel is, I would go Silverado, or the GM 3-liter diesel, the EcoDiesel, and the Ford diesel down below. That kind of my rankings things. But the reason I like it is, and maybe it's COVID being home too damn much, but in that video, Bruce, my friend Bruce, he's a longtime diesel guy, and I had him ride with me. We were in Oregon, which is, I think Oregon. Yeah, it was just beautiful. I think it was Oregon. Sounds familiar. Anyways, Bruce and I decide on this press trip, and these things, this is stuff I'm missing. I'm missing press trips, man. Press trips are a lot of fun. Anyways, we're on this press trip, and Bruce and I are driving along, and he wants to do a burnout with the new Ram truck, and I'm like, I'm game. Let's do a burnout, right? And so he's looking, and I'm interviewing Bruce because Bruce is more of a diesel expert than I am. So, hello, I'm interviewing Bruce, and so we find a spot, and he's like, pull off over here. So he kind of pulls off, and he turns on, gets ready to go, and so I get outside with my camera, and I'm filming him doing the burnout, and he just gets on it, man. The thing is just burning smoke, and it kicks out in the gravel, throwing gravel, right, and he gets more a little bit. I look over, like across the bed of the truck, there's a like a mobile home kind of nice. It's a little more nicer house, but a small modular house. And out walks three dudes with beer bottles going, yeah, good job, yeah. and I'm filming Bruce do it. And these guys are they're having a great time. And we had black track marked down the road. And I'm like, all right, hop in. So we go. And we get to the turnoff area. And Dave Elsoff was there with the Ram. And he's like, what's your fuel economy? Everybody's got really good fuel economy. And I'm like, yeah, probably not us.
Not with the burnout, no.
But I had so much fun with that at that trip, and I miss traveling. But that's my little side thing. But yeah, the EcoDiesel, I'm a big fan of it. I thought it did really well, and compact design, and yeah, I'm a big fan of this 1500 EcoDiesel. It's finally like first time since 1990s or so we've had all these half tons of diesels again. It's like, gosh, it's like finally, and good fuel economy, and the price is coming down on them. I mean, it's finally a sweet spot. All right.
Yeah, and I will point out, I never get good fuel economy in any vehicle I've driven, ever, because one, Chicago, and two, Chicago driver. But are
you saying you're on the gas pedal too much?
I'm saying maybe. But I can neither confirm nor deny. But I will say, in like the Power Stroke especially, I was incredibly impressed with my fuel economy. I think I got over 20 miles per gallon with mostly city driving. And I was super impressed by that. And I think I have a review on our website of the EcoDiesel 1500 from Ram. Yeah. And so I would agree with you. I mean, in terms of interiors of pickup trucks, I think Ram has knocked it out of the park. And I think with this 2021 F-150, I think that it's kind of a toss-up because Ford did a really nice job with their interior from the base truck all the way up to, their top-tier trim. So, but yeah, so I will agree with you on the 1500, and I'll even agree with you on the diesel. So this is one that I will agree with you on.
I'm gonna mark this down.
It's being recorded for posterity, so everybody here is a witness to the fact that once I have agreed with you.
I'm gonna use that against you later. All right, so I guess I can keep going. What stands out to you? What is a vehicle stands out to you that you didn't like at all?
So I hate to say that I didn't like it. I will say I was greatly disappointed by, and this is on the very much smaller side of the spectrum, is the Kia Seltos. And I really, really, really wanted to like that small SUV. it looks good on the outside, and it's got some nice touches on the inside, and the Telluride is amazing. I really like the Telluride, and Kia has been doing some pretty amazing things in terms of design, and I've gotten into vehicles lately, and I'm just like, whew, wow, this is awesome. Why would you buy a BMW, Audi, blah blah blah, when you can get this amazing Kia for a lot less? And I was just very disappointed in the Seltos because it didn't wow me. And one of the things that didn't wow me about it is I think it was the turbo, like what was the 1.6 turbo, but the bottom trim. So I don't know if that was the SX. I haven't read that article recently. But it wasn't the top tier turbo engine. And it had a key. So I think we talked about this a little bit last week as vehicles with keys.
Right,
and it was just such a known sequitur to me because Kia is very forward thinking in terms of their design, in terms of what they do technologically. And here's this thing that costs $26,000, which I think is pretty expensive for a compact SUV. And it had a key instead of the push button start. And so I don't know, it just really rubbed me the wrong way. And I was disappointed. And yeah. And so, yeah, that was my biggest disappointment, I think, of 2020, because I really went into it wanting to like it and walked away. And I thought $26,000. I mean, so in comparison, let's look at something. And both of these vehicles are probably a little bit smaller. But if you look at like the Hyundai Venue or the Nissan Kicks, both of those vehicles have a starting price of right around $20,000. They have a lot more safety technology. They have a lot more amenities and things, and they look cool. Like the Nissan Kicks, for example, come standard with automatic reverse braking. I mean, mind blown. That's a feature that is like optional on up-level luxury vehicles, and it's standard on a $20,000 Kicks. And then you have the Seltos that was just like, well, so I don't know. That was my biggest disappointment.
Yeah, so that's why Jill's on the channel. She cares about those little things. Moving on. No, I had the Kia Seltos this year. I think it was in the spring probably, and mine was yellow. I think mine was yellow, and it was. I mean, I can see that lifestyle, that person, but I always question the idea of buying my college freshman a vehicle, or buying a brand new vehicle when I'm 25, which is kind of that target market for that. I always find that kind of bizarre. Like, granted, did I buy a new truck? I bought a new truck at 27, but it was a truck, so it doesn't matter. All right, yeah, it's an oddball, and
but used, by the way.
Yes. I might.
But if I were gonna buy new, like, I would go for the Kicks or for the Venue.
So Juan wants to know, where's the video of Jill driving a Super Duty? Did you take video of you driving a Super Duty? No,
I didn't. I think I'll have to look back. I may have photos of me standing next to the Super Duty because it was really. Oh, you know what? I actually I have photos of me after I went. I run marathons, and I train marathon runners, and I have one of my friends. I don't know if he's watching, but if you are, hi Roman. And he loves the vehicles that I drive. And so after every marathon training run, he'd be like, "What are you driving this week? Can we look at it? Can we run around? Can I touch it? Can I sit in it? Can I?" And so with this truck specifically, he was like, "Holy crap, this is really." And so he's like, I need to take pictures of you around this vehicle." So I actually took a picture of me in my running gear, I think like sitting underneath underneath the truck bed, and there might have been one of me like laying underneath, kind of going like that, just for size. But it was very funny. But so no video. I wasn't really doing video at that point. But there may be photos, maybe.
Yeah, I've Jill has a lot of fun. She's got a girl in the trunk thing that she does, and she's got. I've been at shows with her where we've taken photos of her if she's taller than the mirror. That's a common thing we do about lifted trucks, because sometimes she's not.
Thanks.
we have a lot of fun. Okay, let's talk about. I got two trucks as the most controversial trucks on my list here, and I guess I'm gonna say this a little differently. Let's start with one that we just recently got into, and one that's coming up. Tahoe, Tahoe, Yukon, and Escalade. Tahoe, Yukon, Escalade. So we have differing opinions, but I have some opinions as well on the Escalade. So, Jill, I was very excited to see new Tahoe and Yukon and Escalade come out. And I say that because I was very excited to see a refresh in that segment. That's one of the biggest segments in the country as far as in my area. People have them all over the place, and I really thought that GM did a good job on, making the Z71 a new separate vehicle now. Really spending time in the interior, really spending a lot of time trying to knock things out of the park. And I thought it was an important vehicle, adding the diesel to it. A side note, a video coming up, I was talking to my friend John Volker, and we were talking about some stuff. He says there's an electric version of Suburban and the Escalade and Yukon and Tahoe coming, which I think is pretty fascinating. But anyways,
makes sense.
I was a fan of it, but I live in the country. Jill had it in the city, and Jill, I think at one point you didn't. Was it a Facebook photo or something like this, where you had the Tahoe, the Yukon, Escalade together, and you couldn't tell the difference between the three on the side panels?
I think the side profile, I mean, obviously the Cadillac has some more blingy trim, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of badge engineering. And I mean, I think in the Cadillac review that is coming out, I actually posed the question if it was worth it. Is $109,000 vehicle, is it worth it? Like basically $50,000 more than either the Yukon or the Tahoe. And I don't know that it is. And yeah, I mean, certainly for an urban space, I have a friend who habitually buys these kinds of vehicles, and she lives in the city because she has a family of 7. And so, they need a vehicle that size because she takes them on a road trip every year. And, she drives to Wyoming. And so I can see that some people might want it, but it's just not, I don't know. It's not something that I would ever buy for the city. Granted, don't have kids, don't need the space, don't have pets. I'm not building anything except for these bookshelves. And and by the way, these bookshelves will fit in the back of a Saturn. I think I had my Saturn SC2 at the time, so they put the seats down and it fit. But I don't know. They're not. It's difficult for me to see around it. It's not great for a tight city space, and I as an urban person, if you don't need it, I wouldn't buy it.
Well, and I guess when I've driven in years past, I've always liked the Yukon better than the Tahoe. I feel like Yukon's got that right mix of a better interior without costing a lot more than Tahoe. And I was shocked when I drove my first Escalade about 5 years ago. I was shocked how much I didn't like it. Like, Escalade's like the baller vehicle, right? Yeah. I mean, it's in LA. You see these guys driving this baller vehicle. And I did not like Escalade at all. I didn't like and you pointed out the OLED. Is that the deal? Is that way that screen is? OLED or QLED?
OLED.
OLED?
I was saying OLED, but I don't know. Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
I just look at that damn thing and I think it's going to break and how expensive that's going to be. Like,
I'm not... I mean, it's 3 screens.
Yeah, I'm not over the moon. It looks pretty. Right. I'm not over the moon. I loved
the way it looked.
Yeah, no, I don't know. All right.
I think it looks pretty. It's still not comfortable.
Yeah, the comfort is not so great. And I guess that's my thoughts. Dan wants to know what's the thoughts upcoming Grand Wagoneer. And I have the same thoughts that I have with Escalade, is that it's going to be the similar size. Too much damn technology. And that's my thing with EVs. So much technology. It's like, can we just slow down a little bit? It's just too expensive to repair, too expensive to buy. I don't know. I know it's better high definition.
You're going to have the Wagoneer and you're going to have the Grand Wagoneer. And I anticipate the Wagoneer will be like the Suburban and Tahoe, and then the Grand Wagoneer will be like the Escalade. I mean, that's just what's in my head. And right now we have only seen the concept car. So what they are showing is not the actual production vehicle. So we don't actually know what the production vehicle is going to look like, what it's going to have. I think, did we post. I think we posted video
Yeah, you
on the
did. I
Grand
think
Wagon.
you did one. Yeah, you were there.
I
Watching.
did.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think we posted that. I also did video on the Chrysler minivan, and you didn't really want that one. So, but no. So I think that it's not going to look the way. I think maybe the exterior will look the way it does with some minor changes, but I don't think the interior is going to look at all like the prototype. I think it's going to be very different. Like, I don't think there's going to be two screens. I hope there would be two, like a passenger screen. Like, I don't know that there's going to be a passenger screen. I think that would be cool, but I don't know that they're going to have it. So I think that the technology you're seeing is Jeep and Fiat Chrysler are saying, wouldn't it be awesome if we did this? And so I think they're trying to get everybody's reaction here. How do you feel about this? And if everybody's like, the technology, then, I don't think you're going to see it. But if everybody's like, yes, then I think you'll see it. And so I that's a very convoluted answer to your Grand Wagoneer question. But what we're seeing right now is not the Grand Wagoneer. It's concept.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to have that same Detroit skyline and the moonroof.
Oh, no. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
All right, Jill, I got one more.
I'm like 100% no.
All right. we can't even come close ending any live stream, talk about trucks, best and worst, without talking about the number one most controversial truck out there. Honda Ridgeline. She laughs. All right, so I don't mind the Honda Ridgeline overall. I understand why people buy it. I think it's a great compromise truck between, if like El Camino kind of thing. I get that. Mm-hmm. I will tell you this. It rides exceptionally well on dirt roads and washboards. It does an amazing job. Mm-hmm. Unibody construction, but it does have a frame, and it's got the independent suspension, so it's a great washboard kind of truck. But I got to ask this, Jill. Did you get a chance to drive one this year? They have the new one with the 9-speed transmission in it. I think that's a big change.
No, I drove it the year it came out and won the North American Car of the Year or Truck of the Year. So was that 2018?
I want to say 17. I want to say it's been out for a little bit.
Okay, yeah. So that was the last time I drove it. I haven't driven a 2020 model.
Yeah, so I mean, but I'm excited for the 2021. It's got their new off-road package. Looks pretty cool. I like these bronze wheels they have going on. I mean, it's cool. It's not something I'd buy, but it's kind of cool looking. Philip Emmanuel. Philip, by the way, I did a video with him on the Cybertruck, and he said that Cybertruck's the best of the year, but Cybertruck is cyberware right now. We'll wait till we buy it. But yeah, I thought it was okay. So, would Jill buy a Ridgeline for her husband?
No.
No. Wait.
And that was a really fast answer.
I know. You get these long ass answers for these, and you're like, nope. Like, what?
There's a very simple reason for that.
Why?
I would never buy any truck, minivan, SUV for my husband because this was one of our wedding vows, actually, that we will never own a non-manual transmission vehicle.
Ooh. So, how do you plan on keeping that up with the death of the manuals?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of used cars in our future. But yeah, he was just like, I will never own an automatic transmission. And I said, I will never live in the suburbs of Chicago. So those were the vows that we traded. And we had the, look me in the eye and understand this is the way it's going to be. And I was just like, okay, we're good. But yeah, no. So there are no pickup trucks today with a manual transmission. So nope.
Okay. Answers that question. So let's move along. I'm gonna go with bad. I'm gonna go Toyota Sequoia. It's just old. Even though you do TRD Pro, there's nothing exciting about that. Ford Expedition. Speaking of Tahoe, Yukon, Escalade, have you ever driven the Expedition? Gigantic turd.
Oh, like many, many moons ago, not recently.
Yeah,
but that is one of the SUVs that has adjustable pedals.
It may be, but boy, is it needing some loving. It needs a lot of loving. A lot of loving. I'm trying to find ones. So I'm going to go down the SUV road here for a minute, guys. Because Jill is way more adept at SUVs than I am. And I will tell you this. That's another reason I brought you on the channel. I got to expand, guys. We got to expand. Oh, there's a question for Philip wants to know. Lyric opinion. Do you have an opinion on the Lyric? That's the new Cadillac EV SUV, which is turning off buyers. What was it, like 10% or 20% of the Cadillac dealers decided to close business because the Lyric's coming? That was kind of interesting.
I haven't. Cadillac and I are not BFF, so I really don't have too much information on it. Frankly, it looks pretty.
Yeah, you know what I've
That's
noticed
about all I got.
What I've noticed on these EVs is Ford's doing this as well. They bring in a lot of tech writers in. They bring a lot of tech writers in, and they don't let journalists come in, regular automotive journalists, because they realize it's a different audience. They're trying to attack an attack. They're trying to attract like nerds. They're trying to find people that wouldn't regularly buy a vehicle because they think vehicles are dumb, and try to put a bunch of technology in them and get that out there. My opinion, I've been watching a bunch of the Mach-E reviews on some stuff. Not watching them, but kind of clicking through stuff. And a lot of there's a channel like Unboxed that got like 17 million subscribers on YouTube, and he had a Mach-E. There's another channel that's like a Total Tech channel. He does Samsung reviews, and he got a Mach-E. I mean, there's this whole weird technology thing about the Mach-E. It's I don't know if it's for regular people or not. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's like Tesla. I mean,
and the deep dive on the Mach-E last year when they did it, I did attend that, but
right,
I did not get the test car.
Yeah, it's just interesting. This technology. I won't ever get one up here. I won't get a Mach-E. I just don't see it happening.
I may eventually get one.
Yeah, you get one there in Chicago. It makes more sense. I told a guy today. I said the electric vehicle I would buy, I would strongly consider buying is Rivian. I'd buy the R1T. I think they call it the R1T. I think it's what the truck is. I'd buy that.
Is it the RT1?
Is it RT1? Yeah,
is it
the RT1. Yeah, RT1. I would buy that. I think it's what I like about Rivian. What they're doing here is it's a lifestyle activity vehicle. They're not calling it a truck. They're lifestyle activity. They're very clear that's what's going to be. So I'm very curious about it. I think Rivian's one of those brands that has me curious because it doesn't look so weird. It's actually halfway normal and looks somewhat decent. Go back. RDX A-Spec. Hated it.
You hated it?
I hated it.
Oh, I liked it.
Okay.
And you are the yin to my yang, apparently. No, I liked it. I think it's a good vehicle. I'm so excited. I'm like shaking my phone.
I know you moved your camera. What's going on?
I just like I'm talking with my hands and things are moving.
It's too weird. It's too strange.
I liked it. Why?
The dual screen is way old. It's got dual screen setup. It drives fine. It's too expensive. I don't know. It's kind of strange. It's just I don't know. It's kind of weird. All right.
All right. Get off. Everybody out there, get off of Tim's lawn.
I really do have a problem with that. BMW X7. Hated it.
I haven't driven it.
Yeah,
I haven't driven it, but I've heard really good things about it. Like somebody who is 6 feet tall can fit in the third row comfortably.
Yeah, whatever. It's overrated. Nobody 6 feet tall wants to get back. Nobody 6 feet tall wants to get back in the back third row. That's I will tell you.
But they can, and they'll be happy about it.
All right, so the BMW X3, we have a video coming out. It's gonna be a week after Christmas. Jill and I will say I wasn't as harsh on that vehicle you thought I was gonna be. I'm kind of coming along, but BMW and I are not BFFs. I get a lot of BMWs, and I haven't figured it out yet. The seats, I don't like the seats half the time. They're too weird. The infotainment screen's hard to use. All right. That's my thing. All right, there we go. She's just smiling, moving along.
I liked it. Well, so no, the thing is like, it's so I think we both had the PHEV version, right?
Yes. The plug-in hybrid EV.
So the plug-in hybrid. Which again makes more sense in a place like Chicago than it does in a place like Nebraska. So, I plugged in and there were only a couple of days that I needed to dip into the gas tank because mostly I was doing a 5-mile round trip, to the gym and back or to the lakefront and back or, whatever. And so for me, I like it.
Yeah, I don't know. It just I can't make it across town with it. I ran out of battery juice. I forget to plug it in. And I had a friend of mine talk today. He goes, that's a cafe compliance vehicle. Nobody's going to buy the damn thing. I was like, all right, I totally get that one. The dumbest vehicle I drove this year. Lexus RX 350L. So, yeah.
I'm like, I know. I know it. Yep.
They literally made it like 2 inches longer to fit a third row back there, which was just terrible.
And by the way, for the record, I love the RX.
Oh, big fan.
But the L, like that third row, not even usable really for somebody my size.
Yeah, I thought it was terrible. I'm not a fan of it. Did you drive the Mazda CX-30?
Yes.
So we own a Mazda.
Liked it.
We lease a Mazda CX-5. A big fan of Mazda CX-5. CX-30 is stupid. It makes 0 sense. You can't fit in the second row. You can't even get in and out the second row. The doors are too narrow.
You can too fit in the second row.
You
I drove
cannot.
that car. You can. I drove it with Henry Payne, who, by the way, is like 6'7", and he adjusted the driver's seat for himself, and then got back behind himself. And by the way, he made me drive with him in the second row, and he was like, this is surprisingly comfortable. And he had headroom. So I don't know, maybe you need to lose weight if that's what you're talking about, that you can't fit width-wise, but height-wise, somebody who is much taller than you fit comfortably. I'm just going to put that out there.
Blah, blah, blah. All right. Now, look. It's terrible. All right, so let's move along.
It is not terrible.
It's awful. I'm gonna say
it's not.
Here's a truck. The only
thing. No.
Oh, right.
The only thing that I don't like about the CX-30 is the cladding on the wheels. That's it. I liked everything else. I even like the infotainment system. So back to you.
Dumb. All right, I'm gonna go with a very controversial truck as well. This is not as controversial as Honda Ridgeline, but the Gladiator. Have you spent time in this Gladiator?
I have.
Boy, am I mixed on this thing. I did my stuff. I got to write my review on this. I haven't written my review. I've done videos on it. I don't like the seating position. The seating position kind of sucks. I think it's cool. It's definitely cool looking. Mm. The bed is somewhat useful. It's not as big as I want it to be. They've made some adjustments. Tailgate kind of lowers a little bit. You can hold the tailgate a little bit 30-degree angle. I've had the Rubicon package, which I want to try the Overland because I'm convinced that the Overland package probably rides better than Rubicon package. I'm convinced of that. And so I just think that I don't know. And $60,000, $66,000 for the diesel version. I have a tough time for that. Yes, Matt says you can get in the manual. I agree. You can get in the manual. I'm not arguing that one. I think that's that great. You can get a manual, you can get a diesel, Rubicon. I mean, if you're in the sand and you're off-roading, fantastic. It's got everything. It's very fantastic. But I don't know. I have such a hard time with that one. I just don't know what to make of it.
I mean, yes, but so first off, it's a mid-sized truck, so it's smaller. It did fit in my garage, and as he rolls his eyes, take another shot.
No. You give vehicles extra kudos for your garage. That's unfair here.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you are having tight spaces, like, it's consideration. I think it definitely gets a 10 for the cool factor. Yeah. The tires are really knobby, but I did not have a soft top model. I had the hard top version. So it was really pretty quiet on the inside because of the hard top. And I enjoyed it. I just thought it was cool. I had fun with it. I did have the opportunity to take it off-road. Our local person took us down to, I think it was like the Badlands, not the Badlands, but the Badlands in Indiana. And we got to go off-road a little bit and have fun and get a little dirty. And it did really well. I mean, the only thing you have to account for in the off-road is, the little end of the truck bed, because sometimes you're going to have to do like a 4-point turn instead of a 1.2-point turn because you've got to line yourself up because of the extra length. But I liked the Gladiator. But similar to the Wrangler, like I think it's more of a lifestyle vehicle. It's a choice. It's a kitschy cool kind of thing. It's not a work truck. It's not something you're taking to a job site, probably. It is the cool factor. And that's who they're marketing it to. They're marketing it to lifestyle people. They're marketing it to people who can go off road. It's just fun. It's just cool. It's not work.
Yeah, and I can kind of get the Gladiator. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm mixed on it. I get the cool factor. I get that stuff. I just driving around. I don't know. I'm mixed on this one. There was a question about the EcoBoost having any reliability issues. Dave in Canada asked. I want to make sure I look at that. I don't have any. Honestly, Dave, he says I'd only buy a Ford F with the 5.0. Frankly, in our research, we've done a lot of research this year on reliability. I think we've found more problems with the 5.0 than we have the 3.5. Which is a little bizarre. It's kind of bizarre on that. So keep that in mind. There was a question about no mention of Ford Bronco. We haven't driven it. Nobody's driven the Ford Bronco. I think Ford Bronco next year is gonna be top of our list. It's cool. I'm a big fan of that. I was surprised, and maybe we can talk a little bit about this. The Ford Bronco Sport. We have a review on our channel. The esteemed Sue Mead wrote us a review on that one of first drive because neither of us got invites or wherever we could get there, whatever the deal is with COVID going on. But I thought the Ford Bronco Sport surprised a lot of people, right? I think a lot of people were like, wow, by what it could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think every review I wrote I was prepared to hate it, but I liked it.
Yeah, I think everybody had the same thing. Everybody had the same thing about the Ford Bronco Sport. Seems like it's a big win. So I thought it was pretty interesting. All right. Yeah, you heard the Bronco's delayed. The Bronco is delayed. The Bronco's going to be delayed for a little bit. Supplier issues with that. We've got 2 minutes left. I think I'm done with the list. Nothing else really on there that stands out to me. We didn't talk much. We talked about F-250. I will tell you that the Ram 3/4 ton and the Chevy Silverado 3/4 ton were both wins for me. Ride comfort was pretty good, and the interior was pretty good. The interior Ram's pretty good. The Silverado 6.6 liter was pretty good engine, but the interior sucked. Ranger to me is a standout as far as a good compromise between on-road and off-road. I thought it was pretty well done this year. Tacoma, I have problems getting in the cab because of the way my head hits the side. But I'll be curious to see what the new one comes out with. There's a whole issue in that. I did drive the Wrangler EcoDiesel. Holy crap, is that thing expensive? I don't know if you guys are affording that thing. That thing's crazy expensive. And that was it.
But it's awesome.
Yeah, that was it for my list. Do you have anything else that stands out to you?
No, I mean, my big thing was just the disappointment in the Seltos. I didn't love the Tahoe or the GMC Yukon or the Cadillac Escalade. They're fine. I did not like them necessarily. But if I was going to send somebody to a large SUV, and I think I saw a comment somewhere on there about the Nissan Armada sucks, but I would probably send somebody to a Nissan Armada over the Tahoe, GMC, Yukon, Cadillac Escalade. And then also, even though I haven't driven the Expedition recently, I like the adjustability for somebody who's my size with the adjustable pedals. So whenever somebody who's petite is talking about a vehicle, I send them that way as well.
And just to follow up on that, Jill wrote an article this year. She wrote an article for the website, and I guess I'm gonna take a little credit because I prodded her to do this. I prodded her to write. You
did.
So she'd made like a Facebook post about how one truck had adjustable pedals, another truck didn't, or whatever the deal was. And I told her, I said, that's a great article. And she was like, well, whatever. I was like, no, Jill, that's a great article. And so she wrote it, and I will tell you that Jill gets comments on an article on a consistent basis. What did you say, about 5-6 comments a month? People are searching for adjustable pedals for their truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
I mean, we've got a lot of comment. Like that's probably one of our most commented stories on the site. And I get tweets. I get somebody found me on Facebook this week. I'll get email messages. But yeah, people find me and they private message me and they're like, "Thank you. I just found your story." And so yeah. And adjustable pedals, people. It's not a gimmick.
Yeah, and Jill's 5 foot tall, but I will tell you that she's only 4 inches shorter than the average American woman, which I think is important to point out. People point out, oh, she's 5 foot tall, whatever going on. If you do the data searching, I did some Google searching on this. She's only 4 inches different, so it's not like she's that amazingly different than the average person. And with the fact that women are driving more trucks and they tend to be more petite overall, guys, if your lady can't get in your truck, doesn't want to drive your truck because you can't reach the pedals, you got some problems. You got some problems. That's what's going on. So I think that's it. I think that's wraps up the year. It's been awesome, man. I guess as a channel creator, I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years now, whatever the deal is, and I can't tell you how amazing it is to see the numbers we're seeing and see the reaction and see that maybe we're onto something here. It's been incredible to watch the growth. It's been great to have Jill on the channel doing live streams now and also doing videos and seeing the growth in the website. I would never anticipate it turned out this well. So thank you for your support. Thank you, Jill, for being part of the channel, being supportive, and thank you everybody. And I hope that everybody has a very Merry Christmas, and maybe I'll be live streaming from Detroit next week as I drive the F-150 hybrid home, or next week, 2 weeks. Maybe my plan is to live stream as I go, and because that's the easiest way I can get the damn videos up without editing them on my laptop. But I'm hoping to live stream if I get the truck. If not, I will be in touch. A big fan of the Rebel, Dan. I will be in touch when I go to buy a truck or get a truck or whatever happened. But I will tell you, December 31st, there will be a brand new truck in my driveway. So Merry Christmas, everybody, including me.
Yep. And before we go, though, I did see some questions early on about where I've been taking the TRX.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So
I had to turn it back in today, and there are some fun things. I'm not going to tell you everything, but there may have been an ATM. I think somebody mentioned Hubbard's Cave. They wanted me to go through in Chicago, so some drive-throughs. But I've been having fun with it. There were a couple of places I really didn't think it would fit, but it fit, and there's some places that I thought it would fit that it did not fit. So, but it was fun, and there may even be video of me parallel parking.
Jill shot so much video, guys. I'm gonna be like all day editing video. She did a great job.
Yeah, you may not see this. You may not see this video actually until next year. I think one day I shot 22 videos and I uploaded it, and it took me like 2 days to upload, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I got a little bit carried away here.
I have never seen Jill smile so much though on video. She took it everywhere. She took it. It's gonna be a video you guys talk about forever. It is crazy. And Gina, I've been to Bronner's and Frankenmuth. I go to Frankenmuth every couple of years or so. But yeah, so all right. Merry Christmas, everyone. We are signing off. We will see you all in 2021, which hopefully is a shit ton better than this year.
Yeah. I'm triple, completely, utterly crossing. Yes.
Oh yeah. All right. Good night, everybody.